This is part 2, Bonhoeffers principle and the online labor market. How you can't rate the food when you never listen to diners. Hi, my name is Sarah Trimble. I'm the founder and CEO of the Job Applicant Perspective, the first anonymous Google reviews for job ads across the US. Starting from a little before where I left off, for continuity's sake. To understand why this labor market collapse was invisible to institutions and why we've built trillion-dollar systems blind to their own basic dysfunction, I turn to a principle articulated decades ago by Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Bonhoeffer wasn't describing a failure of intellect. He was describing a failure of perspective. You can have the smartest minds in the room, the most sophisticated models, the most rigorous dashboards, but if the perspective of the people inside the system are excluded, the models will be blind by design. Brilliance doesn't replace the vantage points that you opt out of measuring. Bonhoeffer warned us, when you collapse the perspectives you don't want to see, you design systems incapable of perceiving their own harm. That's exactly what we did when we moved hiring online. By erasing the signals from the people powering the system, we blinded the models, the policies, and the platforms, leaving us with dashboards that look healthy while the model itself quietly destabilized beneath them. Who this is for? Job seekers who've been applying into black holes and blaming themselves when the system failed them. Small business owners who've been priced out of visibility by platforms designed to favor national brands. Journalists and policymakers who want to understand why record earnings didn't translate into real hiring. Economists and investors who are tracking trust collapse and structural dysfunction beneath the illusion of prosperity. The hiring market's one-sided mirror. For the last 2 decades, labor market economists and policymakers have relied almost exclusively on one-sided signals. Job postings assumed to represent real demand. Wages assumed to represent worker leverage. ATS analytics assumed to represent efficiency. Platform dashboards assumed to represent truth. Meanwhile, platforms like Indeed, LinkedIn, and Greenhouse weren't measuring hires at all. They were measuring engagement, not outcomes. Their incentive was to maximize churn, not matches. But job seekers were living in a different reality entirely. Ghost jobs, roles posted endlessly but never filled. Broken funnels, resumes uploaded into ATS black holes. Scams, duplicates, and fake ads designed to drive clicks and harvest data. Exhaustion and disengagement after 500 plus unanswered applications. These signals, the lived experience of the people inside the system, were erased from the models entirely. And when you ignore the only people who can see the cracks forming, the system becomes blind to its own basic marketplace dysfunction. It's a great house built without a fire alarm. And worse, it trained itself to shush the people trying to warn it.